Chapter 4. Jason Thomas looked around the little tiny spot that, for a strong minute at least, he would call home. It was a one-bedroom rented apartment a stone throw away from the exclusive King's Road, and he had selected the location because it was close to his Turkish connect, who was based in Fulham. He had moved 6 months previously after a close shave with a few Sydenham stick-up kids with pipe dreams of stepping into his shoes. Jason had a plan. He'd stack 7 figures and then get out the game. He was only 21, but was already becoming a little tired of the drug game and longed to live a normal life. He walked over to the king-size mirror in his apartment and checked out his look. He liked what he saw. He had been pumping iron since the age of 18 and now had muscles niggas would die for. Moments later, Bianca Blackwood floated into the room wearing nothing except a matching Gucci bra and phone. Jason saw her in the reflection and smiled. Mary J. Blige was doing her thing in the background, and Bianca began to whine her hips over to him. His pole began to rise as he anticipated what would come next. He reached for her, but she sidestepped him. "My rules today. You're not allowed to touch me. Get on the bed, playboy." Jason did as he was told and began to unbuckle his belt with her hands, revealing his solid pole, which was doing its own thing. She pulled off his jeans and began to French kiss his pole. "Damn, baby, that feels so good." Jason closed his eyes and enjoyed the moment. She kissed her way up to his body. She reached under the pillowcase and produced a black silk blindfold, which she tied around his eyes. "Okay, you're kinky, huh?" he said, as she soft air kissed around his nipples and chest. She slid her tongue into his mouth and directed his arm towards the king-size bedpost. She reached down onto the floor, and Jason then felt the cold steel of handcuffs around his wrists, and then he heard it lock around the bed. Bianca switched sides and handcuffed his other arm to the other post. Nothing long. She punched him flush in the face and hopped off the bed. "Hey bitch, what you doing?" shouted Jason as he tried to free his hands. Long. Bianca had him bagged and tagged. She laughed. "There's only one bitch in there right now, and that's you know. Where's the PB?" "Are you nuts?" shouted Jason. "I ain't got no pee here." She walked over to the side of the bed and stumped Jason in the face using the sole of her right foot. "Are you dumb?" "I swear down, you're dead when I owe you," Jason shouted. "Yeah? You keep talking tough and you're dead now, you pussy." She left the room and returned carrying a pink juicy tracksuit and a pair of white and pink 110s. "Bianca, why are you doing this? After everything I've done for you? Look, just uncuff me and, nigga, please, allow it, innit?" She began to get dressed. "Bianca." She went over to the oak wardrobe and began throwing shoe and trainer boxes onto the floor. She smiled as she saw thick £50 bundles topple out of the boxes. "That's what I'm talking about," she said, as she opened up all the boxes and scooped all the paper into a pile in the middle of the carpet. "Baby, you don't have to go there," he said in a desperate plea. She slowly stared at him with contempt as he foolishly wiggled his legs on the bed. "Jason, just shut the fuck up." "Bianca, don't fuck with me, you know." "Shut the fuck up, Jason. Just tell me why you're doing this," he pleaded. "Just tell me why you're doing this." Bianca pulled a blue night rucksack from out of the wardrobe and began to load it with cash. "You got a very short memory, innit? Huh?" She stood up and threw the rucksack over her back. She walked over to the bedside table and picked up Jason's car keys and mobile and dialed a number. "Yo, Bianca! Just tell me what I've done. Look, whatever I've done, I'm sorry, okay?" She laughed and spoke into the phone. Yeah, it's a done deal, baby boy. I got around 70k, and there's 15 bits of cane in the boot of his whip. She pressed end and threw the phone onto the bed. What's up, baby? Untie me, man. Shit, you know I love you. Like, come on. Like, she walked over to the bed and bent forward and whispered into his ear. If I didn't like you, I'd kill you. You see, the next time you threaten to throw acid in someone's face, don't be so careless. 5 hours later, after having her hair and nails done, Bianca pulled Jason's whip to a stop in the Croydon Holiday Inn car park. Her brother Martin had booked her a room. He was playing FIFA on a PS3 when she walked in. "Well, go on, sis," Martin said when she sat down on the bed. "Where the fuck you?" "I'm here now, bro." She cut him off. "Chill out, innit?" "Yeah, I hear that, but catch this. If you want to be a pro, you got to roll like a pro. You get me, sis? Real talk. Only an amateur goes on a robbery, then stops off at the beauty salon before coming back to base." She was baffled, as Martin had not taken his eyes off the TV once since she stepped into the room. "You should have been a fed, bro." "Nah, you're just loose, sis. I could smell the nail varnish." Bianca flopped back onto the hotel bed and smiled. Martin was the youngest of 5 brothers and 3 years older than she was. He paused the PS3 and turned to observe the ex-tomboy he'd schooled since he had caught her smoking weed at the age of 12. He had since watched her grow from a sport little girl into a smooth, elegant gangster baby. He stared at Bianca for a moment and shook his head with disbelief. The room was silent, except for the FIFA theme that was coming out of the TV speakers. "The food's still in the boot, right?" She nodded her head and threw him the car keys. 14 bits. "I took 1 bit for my boys on my block." Martin reached beneath the chair and pulled out a battered duffel bag which he threw over his shoulder. "How much paper did you get?" She sat up. "If you look in the glove, you'll find 20k. He stared at her with his piercing brown eyes. "I didn't ask you that." "Do I look like a dumb chicken head to you?" she answered. "Nah, you look like my little fucking sister." "Then fucking respect the fact that I've just dropped over 400k worth of cane on you. Tax-free, nigga. Shit. Why niggas be so greedy? I even gave you some Gucci shoe money and you're still screaming." Martin smiled and walked over to the bottle of brandy sitting on top of the minibar. "I'll have what you're having, fam," Bianca said. Martin poured them both a glass of brandy over ice. He gave Bianca hers and they touched glasses. "New era." She smiled and took a sip. "You got the game in the palm of your hand, don't fuck it up, bro." Martin downed his drink in one and placed the empty glass on the minibar top. He and Bianca were close, but she wasn't up to speed on the magnitude of her brother's game on the road. They had the hood on lock, and the 14 bits of cane in Jason's car boot would elevate the family straight to the top shelf. "Don't worry, sis, I got a plan." "What are you going to do about Jason?" "Fuck him, innit? He ain't got no balls to step up and say shit. Man's already pulled his coat. And if he even blinks, it's curtains."
Yo, I said, who can it be? It's cause of the law. Take him to the tower, take his head off for pissing me off. I said, who can it be? It's cause of the law. Take him to the tower, take his head off off for pissing me off. Yo, I said, who can it be? It's cause of the love. Take him to the tower, take his head off. Off for pissing me off.
Chapter 5. Carlon and Trevor were sat either side of the square table, staring down at the chessboard. Trevor had him in a tight spot, and it had been Carlon's move for over 5 minutes. They had been cellmates for near 3 months, and had bonded over the chessboard, while Carlon laid down his plans for the future. Trevor would smoke weed and listen with excitement. Trevor looked up from the chessboard. Yo, my G, when you go home, yeah, are you looking to go back and roll with Cox and Doyley then? Carlon shook his head. Nah, bro, they're good people, but they're washed up, blood. I'm pissed, Carl. It's like in the 3 years I've been unlocked, all of them are having a madness, cuz. It is what it is. I'm going on road to build my own thing, blood. New team, feel me? I touched road a couple months after you, so you done know. If you need me, I'm there, innit, Trevor said. Carlon looked him straight in the eye. Are you ready though, blood? Course, I was born ready, Trevor replied. Carlon laughed and they shook hands. A friendship had been born. Who's this Bucky Mark dude? Asked Carlon. I hear he's on the strip killing it right now. Yeah, he's a bit of an all-rounder still. He's from Peckham, innit? But he's rolling with our youngers. What youngers? Trevor shrugged. I don't think you know them still. They're only like 13, 14. They would have been like babies when you was on the road. There's like Sparks, Shifty, Delphon, TQ. You know them? Nah, youngers, innit? But I know who they are still. I know Delphon's dad, Leslie, TQ's mum, Marina. I know Sparks' older brother, Eddie. Trevor picked up his spliff out of the ashtray and relit it. Bucky's got them unlocked right now. They hit safes and shit. Gone. It's nuts, fam. Like, he takes them to hotels, restaurants, whatever, and he kind of uses them as a distraction and somehow cops the safe keys and cleans it out, innit? Jolting, said Carlon. No dude from Peckham can have up my youngers. Are you nuts? You know Titch? Nah, who's he? Ah, nah. He's Bucky's right-hand man, innit? No neck, but he thinks he's hard, bro. I'll show him hard, bro, when I go home, bruv. Carlon said to himself as he looked down at the chessboard and used his queen to defend his king. Trevor laughed. What? It's a standoff, yeah? It's nothing. We play chess like we play the game. Take one of mine, I take one of yours. Trevor made a reckless move, moving his horse into an attacking position instead of retreating his queen out of the line of fire. Carlon did not hesitate and went queen for queen, and then smiled as he then used his pawn to take Trevor's rook as part of the deal. Now your 3 pieces down. Rule number 1, never go to war unless there isn't any other option. What's rule number 2, Trevor asked. Never attempt to win a war you know you'll lose. Like, you was 2 pieces down, right? Yeah, and you gave up the strongest member of your team, stated Carlon in disbelief. Only a fool thinks about today with no thought of tomorrow. It's not even that. I had a plan. You just fucked it up, innit? Carlon waved away Trevor's weak defense. Rule number 3. You can never be wrong and strong. What's rule number 4? Carlon smiled. Never ask a question unless you know the answer. Trevor sucked on his spliff and attempted to try and limit the damage by moving his king 1 space to the left, but the damage had already been done. Carlon moved his queen slowly along the chessboard and took the pawn directly in front of Trevor's king. The queen was supported by her horse. Trevor brought the palm of his hand down onto the chessboard in anger. Checkmate, Carlon said with a smile on his face. Rule number 5. Control your emotions and make failure your friend. Real talk. When you do something, you may fail, bro. But that's not because you're a failure. It's because you ain't learned enough. The solution next time around is play your game differently. Alright. 6 weeks later, Carlon was standing outside Lewisham train station, waiting for a family friend called Leslie. He sucked on his joint and observed his surroundings as he sorted out the plan in his mind as to how he would go at Bucky Mark. He would go hard. He knew no other way. He had spent 3 years in the cage and was now weighing at 15 stones, pure muscle, and he was hungry. Leslie rolled up in a 1.9 black Peugeot. Carlon opted in. Before he had even closed the door, Leslie hit the gas and they proceeded to comb the streets of southeast London for Bucky Mark. "The boy Bucky a pussy," Leslie screamed, with one eye on the road. "Don't watch nothing, I'm gonna straighten out the 09, innit? Yeah, we need some harder, you get me? Delphin's only 13 and Bucky's got him on the road, I take advantage." Carlon glanced at the middle-aged dude and saw straight through him. Leslie was broke, washed up, and far from being concerned about his son, his only desire was to use any angle possible to get a piece of the action. "You know where to find them? Them easy to find," responded Leslie. "All them do is drive up and down Lewisham and blood clot Peckham like them a fool. They make money though." Carlon laughed. "How's your mum? I ain't seen her in a while. Is she okay?" "Yeah, she's good still. Yeah, she's calm. I was with your uncle yesterday. He's making a ring for me, but he wants too much money, man." Leslie was right. Bucky wasn't hard to find. He manoeuvred his whip into a side street, and there was Bucky Mark and the youngers standing around his parked car. Leslie pulled the whip to a stop. Carlon opted out. None of them knew Carlon, but they knew who he was, and had heard that he was out and acting crazy. Carlon didn't disappoint. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Bucky Mark," said Carlon as he rode menacingly into Bucky's personal space. "Do I know you?" Bucky answered in an aggressive tone as he tucked in his massive rope chain and fronted it out. "Tell me where I know you from." Caught between his two hotheads, the youngers decided to kick back and watch how it all played out. Bucky was their friend, and they had mad love for him, but they understood the politics of the game, and it was an open secret that Carlon was next in line to become a hood superstar. "Fuck the performance, blood. Maybe we should go off air so I can walk you through the situation," Carlon said as he gestured for Bucky to follow him to a little alleyway that was 10 feet away. Bucky shook his head and laughed. Once they were alone, Carlon went straight in. "The name's Tiny B, SC8, feel me? You see those young cats you're rolling with? Their area code's SC8. SC8's Deptford, nigga. And you're from Peckham, right? What do you want? What do you want?" "I want what you want," replied Carlon. "An easy life. I'm not greedy, B. All I want is a seat around the table and I'm good. And if I don't agree," Carlon smiled, "I don't think it'll come to that." Bucky laughed. "How come you're so sure?" "Because you're a smart guy," Carlon said with his standard enthusiasm. "You know who I am. And if you make this transition smooth, I'll take you to the top with me. Yeah? Yeah, bro. Fuck it. But don't get it twisted and feel like I'm shook. Nah, never that. I just feel you're gangster, B." No doubt, answered Carlon. "It's nothing. You didn't fold. I respect that." "I've been hearing your name ringing for a strong minute now. Welcome home, playboy. I'm killing them right now. Peck now. You know how we do. I'm going to give you a ringside seat." They shook hands and returned to where the others were. The youngers had smiles on their faces, glad that Carlon and Bucky had not come to blows. Delphin had sent his pops on his way. "What's up, Tiny?" asked Sparks. "What, you rolling with us now?" "Nah, young G, you're rolling with me." Sparks was the leader of the younger Deptford gang. And while he was only 5'8", he was strong like an ox and lived up to his nickname. Next in line was Shifty, a dark-skinned, skinny motherfucker who had a big heart. Then there was Delphin, a sly motherfucker who Carlin didn't like or trust from the jump. There was just a bad vibe about him. And lastly there was TQ. He was an all-rounder. Carlon sized up what he would be working with and noted that, with the right leadership, they could make a lot of noise in the hood. They all spoke about frivolous stuff for a while, and then Carlon broke off to go and handle private matters. The following morning, Bucky pulled up outside Carlon's family home in Lewisham in his 1.6 Peugeot. Sparks was in the passenger seat. Carlon hopped into the back and chatted on the phone, while Sparks and Bucky went through the plan. Carlon flipped his mobile shut and listened. They didn't know too much about the white guy they were going to rob. He was new on the ends, and so was his product, crack. The mixture of baking soda and cane that made a crackling sound when cooked on the stove. Motherfuckers were going crazy over the shit. Bucky had got the drop on him via a chick from around the way who was into sniff and bought a couple of grams off him on weekends. Bucky and Sparks had spent the last week running their own surveillance on the dude's crib, and due to the high level of activity around his flat, they knew their information was right. Bucky parked the whip in a side street in Catford, and they walked to the spot. The dealer lived on the top floor. Bucky double-checked the heat on his hip and then knocked the grill door, while Carlin and Sparks waited in the wings for his sign. There was movement on the other side of the door. "What do you want, mate?" asked a male voice from inside the flat. "I'm Mandy's boyfriend," Bucky said in a Cockney accent. "I've come to collect that thing, bruv." The dealer opened the door and spoke through the torn chain. "What you after, bruv?" he asked as his eyes went from Bucky's face to the bundle of 50s inside the palm of his hand. "A Z of each, bruv." "Yeah? If you wash it up, I'll give you another oneer." The dealer took the chain off. "Come in, me old China," said the long-haired, skinny white drug dealer. Come in, come in." Bucky backed his eat and pushed it up against the dealer's chin. "Moving, you dead pussy." The white drug dealer, whose name was John, he was spooked. He led them into the living room. He crouched down and slid a large black rug to the side and popped up his custom-made safe under the floorboard. Carlon pushed him to the side and reached into the safe, and as promised, the belly was inside. 4 bits of cane, 40 bags of cash, neatly stacked in 5k bundles. "Man's in the game, blood." Sparks copped the food from behind the TV and they bounced.